China has thrown its weight.
Welcome to One Africa News, your premier source for news and current affairs from across the continent. We're glad you're here. If you're new to our channel, please subscribe, like, and turn on notification to stay up to date with the latest news and analysis. Your support helps us reach more people. This is One Africa News Network. Today, we turn our focus to the Middle East, where the Red Dragon is breathing fire in a way we haven't seen before. In a major geopolitical twist, China has taken an unprecedented position in the ongoing conflict in Israel. For the first time in decades, Beijing is not just watching, it's acting. And it may be targeting more than just peace. It may be signaling a new global order. As violence once again rocks Israel and Gaza, most eyes turn to Washington, as they always do. But this time, it wasn't Washington that made the first move. It was Beijing. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi released a fiery statement condemning what it called aggression against civilians and called for an immediate ceasefire. But more shockingly, China has now deployed a diplomatic security team to Tel Aviv and opened indirect communication lines with Hamas via regional intermediaries. In international circles, analysts are calling this China's dragon fire strategy. Not literal missiles, but strategic flames of influence in one of the world's most volatile regions. Why now? Sources close to China's Belt and Road Initiative say Beijing is aggressively moving to protect its energy supply chains. Nearly 50% of China's oil imports pass through the Middle East. But this is more than oil, it's power. With the U.S. deeply entangled and losing moral authority in the region, China sees an opening to position itself as a new peace broker, a role it tested last year when it helped mediate between Saudi Arabia and Iran.
Behind efforts to broker a ceasefire between Iran and Israel. As the war intensifies, Beijing has vowed to play an active and constructive role, a move that signals a direct challenge to Western influence in the Middle East. Chinese President Xi Jinping issued a rare and strongly worded call to all sides in the conflict.
All parties should work to de-escalate the conflict as soon as possible and avoid further escalation of tensions. China stands ready to work with all parties to play a constructive role in restoring peace and stability in the Middle East. Israel's military actions against Iran have led to a sudden escalation of tensions in the Middle East, which deeply concerns China.
Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi has stepped into the eye of the storm, speaking with both Iranian and Israeli counterparts. In a striking shift, Beijing condemned Israeli airstrikes outright, calling them an unacceptable breach of international law. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which Iran joined just months ago, is now being positioned as a platform for de-escalation. Beijing's unique web of alliances raises the stakes. Iran leans heavily on China to survive crippling Western sanctions, while Israel is China's second-largest trade partner and a critical technology source. With tensions threatening the Strait of Hormuz, the artery for China's energy imports, Beijing's intervention is no longer about diplomacy alone. It's about protecting its own economic lifelines. In Beijing, the rhetoric sharpened further as the Chinese Foreign Ministry called out the global community.
the heating up of the Middle East region serves no one's interests. To fan up the flames, use threats, and exert pressure does not help de-escalate the situation and will only aggravate tensions and enlarge the conflict. China calls on relevant parties, especially countries with special influence on Israel, to take up their due responsibilities and take immediate actions to cool down the situation and prevent further spread of the conflict.
As the US doubles down on military support to Israel, including the deployment of an aircraft carrier in the Gulf, China is moving in the opposite direction, positioning itself as the voice of restraint. From the UN Security Council to regional blocs, Beijing is pushing for dialogue, recasting itself as a potential power broker in a region long dominated by Washington.
President Xi Jinping has long warned that the U.S. holds a monopoly on conflict resolution. Now, he's quietly positioning China as a diplomatic force in Israel, Gaza, Syria, and even Lebanon. According to insiders, China may soon propose a UN-backed peace corridor initiative involving infrastructure, ceasefire guarantees, and reconstruction financing, led by Chinese companies. Some call it soft power. Others call it strategic colonization through diplomacy. The United States, long Israel's closest ally, is reportedly concerned by China's moves. Washington insiders believe Beijing is weaponizing peace, appearing neutral while shifting alliances and filling power vacuums. One analyst put it this way: in this chess game, the U.S. is trying to stop a war. China is trying to win a region. For Africa, this new phase of Chinese global assertiveness sends a clear signal. Beijing is no longer content being an economic player. It wants to be a global superpower in politics, security, and ideology. As China builds ports in Kenya, railways in Nigeria, and now seeks influence in Jerusalem, it raises the question: how far will Beijing go to challenge U.S. supremacy? And will Africa be a partner or pawn in this new world order? The dragon has arrived, not with bombs, but with influence, leverage, and calculation. In Israel, China is testing its wings in the fire of conflict. Whether that brings peace or a new era of power rivalry remains to be seen. This is One Africa News Network. Stay sharp, stay sovereign, and stay tuned. And disclaimer: the content of this video is based on credible, publicly available information and is intended for educational, analytical, and informational purposes only. One Africa News does not promote hate, violence, misinformation, or political unrest. Our goal is to deliver thoughtful insights, highlight local voices, and encourage informed conversations throughout Africa. Thank you for watching One Africa News. Kindly subscribe and stay up to date with our latest news updates. Like, comment, and share our videos with your friends and family.